We have multiple major Phoenix Suns updates regarding their next head coach, as Matt Ishbia has said it to be known that he wants to take his time with this head coaching search. But with a fan favorite getting plucked out, Suns fans are absolutely livid at this and who's in control for this head coaching search and what could be next for the Phoenix Suns as they look to bring in a head coach that is going to instill a culture and an identity in Phoenix. So we're going to dive in. We're going to look at all the new updates revolving around this on this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Velez, and you guys have been fantastic showing your love, showing your support on the channel, which has been super appreciative. Even with the Suns not having the best season, obviously the drama is going to continue to ensue. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as 65% of you guys who watch these videos daily are not subscribed. And if you want to make sure you get every little tidbit of information, this is definitely the place for you. We'll be live once again, coming back to you on Thursday, starting back up this week. But without further ado, let's dive into it and let's get into the news at hand today. And we saw a little bit of an update revolving around here with the Phoenix Suns and this head coaching search, as there was some names that were thrown around for this Phoenix Suns team in this head coaching search, right? We've all seen the list of them, and there's been some names that some fans have even wanted to see a little bit more. And one of those names is going to be crossed off the list, as we see with Steve Nash, the Suns fan favorite, two-time MVP, is going to be joining Amazon Prime's NBA studio and will go on to do that for his career, being obviously a TV representative alongside Dirk Nowitzki, his ex-teammate, alongside Blake Griffin and Taylor Rooks. And I think this is great for Steve Nash and for the organization. I don't think personally that Steve Nash should have been a coach for the Phoenix Suns, but not just that. I think this is the best for him. He obviously filled in for JJ Redick with LeBron on that podcast where they're able to talk basketball, and that kind of showed the light for Steve Nash once again after that falling out in Brooklyn just a couple years ago when he was the head coach. And with Steve Nash obviously going to doing this TV job, that means that all the Suns fans that wanted him to be the head coach, it's not going to happen. And we have an update coming from the Stein line, Mark Stein, who said that Steve Nash had no plans to pursue the head coaching job, even though he had his long-standing ties to the Suns and his status as a Phoenix resident. He did not want to be the head coach for the Phoenix Suns or get himself involved in that run following the Mike Budenholzer firing. And this has Suns fans livid, right? Now, some Suns fans obviously don't want Steve Nash, right? You look at Sam Cooper obviously saying, you people want to hire Steve Nash. The Suns are crazy. He'll be fired in a year and his legacy will be tarnished in Phoenix. But then you see people in his comments like Garrett Woodruff saying, yeah, but if he's awesome, my childhood would be healed, Sam. And that's all those Suns fans that are going to be livid at the fact that Steve Nash did not take this job and that he's not going to be becoming the Phoenix Suns next head coach. And if you look at this from Eric Ruby, I think he's obviously a good coach for PHNX, but I don't want him here because of the possibility of souring his name with the franchise with a bad stint. That's enough to give me a pause. And I agree with Eric on this take. Ultimately, I was not in the fan club for hiring Steve Nash just because I didn't want it to tarnish his legacy. And I did not think that he would be able to turn it around like many people did think he would be able to do in Phoenix if he did accept this Phoenix coaching job. And that's why some Suns fans are livid, right? Because they want Steve Nash. They want Chris Paul. They want this player coach to come back to Phoenix, someone that has these great ties to the city and be able to bring out the identity, bring out the culture, and to reinvigorate this Phoenix Suns team. But truly, ladies and gentlemen, that is not going to happen, and it's not going to be happening with a Chris Paul who's still going to look to be playing next season. It's not going to be looking like that with a Steve Nash who is going to be on Amazon Prime TV doing commentary. It is going to be someone different, and it's going to have to be someone that these players do like and that these players do trust. So with that being said, Steve Nash will not be the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. I'm not too worried. Like I said, I think like Eric kind of had said and Sam Cooper, it wouldn't have gone great for the Phoenix Suns. I don't want him to tarnish his legacy. I wouldn't want him to lose all that appreciation that he had from the Phoenix Suns fans, specifically if this season went sour once again for two straight seasons in a row of not making the playoffs. It would not be a great look. And ultimately, I think it's for the best for Steve Nash once again to not be looking to take this job, right? To be not looking to be a head coach because his first stint didn't look the greatest. Take that time off and eventually get back into coaching in a couple more years if you want to with a different franchise. But I think this is the best path for Steve Nash and for the Suns. And I want to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So let me know. But that's not just it, ladies and gentlemen, as we have multiple updates. Remember? So we got some more stuff revolving around this Phoenix Suns team and this head coaching staff, because we do know, and we released this in our latest video, that the Phoenix Suns have someone in charge of this head coaching search, and that person is James Jones. And regardless of how you feel about James Jones, it is a little bit of a weird question mark to be having a guy whose contract is set to expire, someone who hasn't done the best in the front office for this Phoenix Suns team over the last couple of years, to fans' appreciation, is going to be in charge for the head coaching search. And like Matt Ishbia said, and like I said in the intro, Matt Ishbia is taking delicate time with this. He's not looking for a head coach in a week or 2 weeks. He is making sure that the Suns fill out this front office, fill out this roster, and then go out and get the head coaching. Really, really investing into the identity and the culture of a head coaching staff for this season. He realized he failed with bringing all these Excalibur championship head coaches, so going in a different direction is something that he would like to do. And we're going to be diving into this article from Kevin Hicks of Sports Illustrated that ranks some of these head coach candidates and kind of goes into detail on who could be brought in for this Suns team. Now, one of them being Royal Ivey, I think he would be a great choice, like Kevin kind of stated. He obviously has some connections with Kevin Durant, and if you're the Phoenix Suns, right, you want to keep Kevin Durant happy. He wants to stay in Phoenix. You hire someone that he has good relationships, right? You try to mend that relationship, try to keep this team together, look to still move off of Bradley Beal, get some type of recoup in possibility, and then be able to retool with this team. Now, obviously, if they go and hire, if they're looking to move off Kevin Durant, maybe a guy like Royal Ivey isn't the top tier guy because the connection with Durant isn't there. But I do believe he could be someone that could be very helpful if that's the goal that they want to do in keeping Durant, which I would want to do if I were the Suns. Another one is Jared Dudley. Once again, a familiar face in Phoenix, could be just what the franchise needs. Dudley obviously has been an assistant coach with the Dallas Mavericks for a little while, and obviously has a great relationship with Devin Booker. He's commended for his player development, his in-game defensive acumen, and his leadership, all issues that arguably have plagued the Suns the previously 2 seasons. And who knows, maybe a little bit of a relationship with Jared Dudley and Devin Booker could mend this kind of team together and really take that culture identity setter to the max, because Devin Booker could be preaching what Jared Dudley really, really wants, but also it could be a little bit of a clash, right? Maybe Devin Booker gets a little bit of more favoritism because of Jared Dudley and him knowing each other, or for the fact that maybe they're a little bit hard-nosed and against each other because they have that close of a relationship. So that's something definitely to keep an eye on with it as well. And then lastly, obviously, Johnny Bryant, someone who's been successful in his last 3 stints in Utah, New York, and Cleveland. He's with the Cleveland Cavaliers now, so it would be taking a little bit of a longer wait towards the end of the season for them to expire, but he could once again also be another interesting topic. Chris Haynes brought up a long list of names when Mike Budenholzer did get fired, and all 3 of these guys' names were on that list, right? Alongside that were Mike Brown, the previous Sacramento Kings coach, Willie Green, who's currently still the New Orleans Pelicans head coach, and he has interest with the Suns if he does get fired, but has not been fired yet. Johnny Bryant, like I mentioned, Jared Dudley, like I mentioned, Royal Ivey, like I mentioned, Chris Quinn, who is the Miami Heat assistant head coach, and with Eric Spoelstra potentially getting pushed out, or with Chris Quinn, maybe looking a little bit better, he can move on and get out of Eric Spoelstra's rotation. Then you obviously have Sean Sweeney. He's in Dallas alongside Jared Dudley. David Fizdale, who was the Suns' assistant head coach last season, who was really solid on the defensive side. And then once again, Kevin Young, the man who filled in for the interim head coach and now is at BYU. Arguably, the Suns are interested in some guys that they have connections with, either have connections with their players, have connections with the Phoenix in general, or the front office in the city. And I think that is, or they have connection with one of the people in the front office. And I think that's great for the city, right? Like we mentioned, building a culture, building identity, building what this team truly needs is some sort of heart and hustle on the defensive side. Matt Ishbia made that known at the press conference at the end of the season. We did not see it this year. The team is going to build through that, and they're going to figure that out through a coach, through a roster, through a general manager. And I do believe that with this lead, we will see that. Now, who's going to be the number one guy in power for the Phoenix Suns to make this decision? We all know it's James Jones. So what will he arguably do to try to keep Kevin Durant? Who ultimately knows? But I do believe that if we look at this list, there are some very solid names. Like I mentioned, maybe I'm not the biggest Mike Brown guy. Don't really know much about Sean Sweeney, but I do like every other guy's name on this list. I would love to get an assistant head coach, someone once again who hasn't been a head coach before, someone who can instill a culture, can instill an identity, and bring something new to Phoenix that it has been lacking these last couple couple seasons that can really wake up these stars and really get this team charged up for next season. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, what you guys ultimately think on these multiple major updates. Like I said, I would expect the Phoenix Suns to go after and get Royal Ivy kind of first, just due to the fact that they want to keep Durant, they want to keep that men relationship. But if they already feel like the relationship with Durant is already ruptured, then looking to go elsewhere and bringing in someone else to mend that relationship with Durant, or with Booker, and other players that do come in through free agency or via trades when you're changing out your roster would be very key for the Phoenix Suns. So once again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on these multiple updates regarding the coaching search, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.